is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. It is a great night for baseball here in Central Florida as we welcome you to Spring Training 2013. And we welcome you inside Joker Marchant Stadium, also the home of the Lakeland Flying Tigers. A windy but pleasant evening tonight. Spring Training baseball features the Houston Astros and the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us for the third of our fourth spring telecast right here on Fox Sports Detroit. And a little bit of a change of pace tonight, Rod. We've got a night game. You don't see too many of these in spring camp, so it's going to be a little bit different for the players tonight.
And basically what it's for is it gives all 30 clubs, just about every club will play one or two night games during the course of spring. It gets guys acclimated to the lights, and that's basically what it's for.
All right, now we'll get acclimated to Justin Verlander tonight. He's going to toe the slam for the Detroit Tigers. We all know what JV did last year. He led the league in innings and strikeouts. He could have won the Cy Young, finishing second to David Price. He also finished second to Price in ERA. It was a terrific year last year for Verlander. Just a couple more starts this spring for JV. Rod, what do you expect to see tonight?
Well, I expect Justin Verlander to go out there and does what he does best, and that's come with that 95, 96 mile per hour fastball. That knee buckling breaking ball, for me, it's the best of any right-hander in all of baseball. I talked to Alex Avila before the game today, and he said that he expects JV to come out and use all four of his pitches. He did not like the taste that was left in his mouth when he started a couple of starts ago. That was in a big league game. He had a minor league start after that where he pitched okay, but expect Verlander to come out here and really fine-tune all of his assets.
All right, we can... We are under the lights this evening here in Lakeland. Tigers Astros on Fox Sports Detroit.
The
Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Back here at Joker Marchant Stadium in Lakeland, Florida, on a nice night for baseball. A little bit windy. It's probably going to get a little bit cool before the night is over, but good baseball weather nonetheless. Tigers taking on the visiting Houston Astros, managed by Bo Porter these days in his first season as the skipper of the Houston Astros, previously the third base coach with the Washington Nationals the past couple of years. So Porter taking over a very, very young team. And here's the starting lineup tonight. Presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, it'll be Jose Altuve leading it off. He'll play second base, followed by Brett Wallace and Carlos Pena, the former Tiger. Chris Carter is in left. Rick Ankiel is in right. Justin Maxwell is in center field. Corcoran, Dominguez, and Gonzalez will round out the lineup for the Astros, and they will face Justin Verlander this evening.
And more than likely, Verlander just a couple of more starts down here in spring training before he gets the ball on April 1st. In Minnesota, he checks in with a 4.05 spring ERA. In 13 1/3 innings, he's given up 8 hits and 11 strikeouts, but he's given up 6 runs.
So Verlander ready to go to work, and so are we. The Tigers and Astros here tonight from Lakeland. The Tigers don't play too many night games, but they've got one under the lights this evening. And Jose Altuve will stand in to lead things off for the Houston Astros. Altuve, Wallace, and Carlos Pena in the top of the first inning.
Houston Astros also played a night game last night in Kissimmee, Florida, their home spring training site.
And so here we go as Altuve digs in, batting .362 on the spring campaign, and he looks at strike one. Well, it's a bit of a change of pace because you're so used to playing day games, getting up really early, showing up at the ballpark, and typically it's very hot. And I guess these night games are a welcome relief.
I talked to a lot of guys during batting practice today, and they said they had a tough time sleeping in. That body clock could just get you up early in the morning. Some guys said they took a little nap in the afternoon, but you still get up rather early.
And the lights have just been turned on here at the ballpark. Shadows creeping in over home plate. And Verlander quickly ahead of Altuve, 0-2. And he got him strike 3. What a start for Justin Verlander. 3 pitches and his first strikeout of the game.
That last fastball is something that Justin Verlander started to do a lot of last year, and that was thread the needle with a good firm fastball on the inside part of the plate. Altuve, a guy that really swings the bat and puts the ball in play, couldn't get the bat off his shoulder.
Verlander, a 17-game winner last year, made 33 starts. He'll make the opening day start again for Detroit this season. Brett Wallace digs in now with 1 out, and he waves and misses. And so far, not a whole lot going on for the Houston offense.
Well, it looks like Verlander going to come out and establish his fastball here in the very first inning. First 4 pitches, all fastballs.
Wallace, a .289 hitter this spring, couple of home runs. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. This, I would imagine, Ron, is the time in spring camp where Verlander now is starting to get really dialed in. Maybe you work on some more things early on in camp, but now I think we see more of what we can expect on opening day. As the 0-2 comes home, and it's drilled to right field on a line, and Hunter will play it on 1 hop.
Let's take a look at the defenders behind Justin Verlander in the ball game this evening. You got Quentin Berry in left field. It's been a tough spring for Berry. He's had a bad left knee. Really hasn't played all that much. You've got Jackson in center. You got Hunter over in right. You have fielder Infante Peralta and Cabrera in the infield, and Alex Avila. And he's putting down the signs this evening for Verlander.
So here comes Carlos Pena now. Brett Wallace, an 0-2 base hit to right field. Pena having himself a pretty good spring. He's hitting .306.
Nice adjustment by Wallace. The previous pitch was a changeup. He swung and missed at it. Verlander came right back with that same pitch. Wallace stayed back long enough to get a base hit.
Pena takes one outside. They play Carlos to pull on the infield as Cabrera gives up the entire third base line. Pena, of course, at times can be all or nothing. He's hit a lot of home runs in his career. He has also struck out a lot. The batting average took a dive last year. He hit just .197. Quickly back to the bag, Wallace.
Wallace is a guy that does not steal bases, but it's good every now and then if you have the quick feet like Verlander has. When you have a guy over there that doesn't run, he's not expecting you to throw over there. And Verlander gave him his best move, and he almost picked him off.
Wallace, meanwhile, struggling to get back in the bag and see if he's okay.
Take one more look at this.
He may have jammed his shoulder a little bit. They're calling for the trainer to come out and take a look at him. Yep, shoulder area, neck area. Verlander with those quick feet making it extremely close at first base.
It appeared that Wallace was trying to talk the first base coach, Dave Clark, into allowing him to stay in the game. But Dave Clark's a veteran of many, many seasons as a player, third base coach, now first base coach for the Houston Astros, called out the training staff.
It doesn't look like he's going to stay in the game, and Wallace will depart indeed. So Wallace now will head back, not to the dugout, but to the clubhouse, and they will further take a look at it. And Brandon Laird will come off the bench and pinch run at first base. It looked innocent enough.
But you could tell as soon as he got up and he started to wince a little bit.
So Wallace departs. Laird, the pinch runner at first base. 1 ball and no strikes on Carlos Pena, the designated hitter tonight for the Astros, which is the position that he is most likely going to play for the majority of this season with Houston. Again, don't forget the Astros part of the American League this year. They'll play in the American League West. And so not only do the Astros change leagues, but they head into a division where they're going to have some tough sledding, I would think.
No doubt about that.
Chase Laird back. 2-0 on Pena. Verlander's last start came in a minor league game in the backfields here at Lakeland back on the 16th. He went 4 1/3 against Syracuse, a AAA team. Swing and a miss. 2-1. And those minor league games obviously serve their purpose, but I would think that it's awfully difficult because the atmosphere is not quite the same as it would be in the big league ballpark.
It's a game, though, a guy like Verlander can really work on all of his pitches. If there was something that wasn't working the previous start, when you do go up against a AAA affiliate of another organization, it allows you to come out and work on specific pitches without the pressure of pitching in a big league game.
He did strike out 6 in that game and walk 3. 2-1 on Carlos Pena.
Watching Verlander throw over several times, and Laird not a base stealer, just like Wallace is not a base stealer, but that's a part of Verlander's game that Jim wanted him to improve on, and that's keeping runners a little bit closer at first base.
Verlander missing again, and the count goes 3-1 on Pena.
I think that holds true for everybody on the staff. That's one thing that Jim wanted Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, to relay to the starting staff and the relievers. We've got to do a better job of keeping guys at first base, keeping the double play in order.
3-1 pitch. 3-2 on Pena. Pena last year 19 home runs. He also struck out 182 times.
He will do that.
Count is full at 3-2 with 1 out. Laird the runner at first. He's not going anywhere, and a bouncing ball right back to Verlander. This should be 2. There's 1. There's 2. It's a 1-6-3 double play, and the inning is over for the Astros. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning here in Lakeland. Still no score. Ball game as we head to the bottom of the first inning here in Lakeland. Jim Leland all bundled up tonight. So is Gene Lamont. A little bit of a cool evening here at the ballpark tonight. And the Tiger starting lineup this evening presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For Detroit tonight, Jackson, Hunter, Cabrera, your top three. Fielder Martinez, Quentin Berry is out in left field. And Peralta, Avila, and Infante, your bottom three tonight for Detroit. Austin Jackson leads it off and looks at a ball outside from Lucas Harrell. Getting the call tonight for the Astros. AJ batting .273 this spring with one home run. And he cues one off the end of the bat and knocked down by Laird. His throw to first is in time for the out. Brandon Laird had to come in a pinch run. He stays in the game at first, and that one fooled him a little bit.
I don't think he saw it. I think there's some sun right there in the area of third base and also, right field and also first base. And you can tell by the way that he went after this ball, he didn't necessarily see it hit him right in the back, but he was alertly picking it up, and he got the ball to Harrell, who was covering.
Yeah, I said he knocked it down. It was more like it knocked him down.
Yes.
It caught Laird right in the back. He was dealing with the sun. There's Torrey Hunter for the Tigers. Hunter at .261 this spring. And that's in for a strike, 0-1. Torrey's hit a couple of home runs. He's knocked in 4. Harrell works quickly and misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Harrell's got a power sinker. Anywhere from 88 to 94 miles an hour. He breaks a lot of bats.
2-1.
He also works both sides of the plate with that power sinker. Probably their most consistent starter last year, going 11-11 for the Houston Astros.
Right to the shortstop. Easy hop there for Gonzalez, who throws out Hunter. 2 gone.
And to win 11 games on a club that lost 107 games, you know you're doing some pretty good pitching, and really just a continuation of what he did last year in an Astros uniform this spring, checking in with a 2.08 ERA. He also has a couple different breaking balls, a curveball, also a slider, and a changeup that's still developing.
Couple of quick outs, and here is Miguel Cabrera, batting .286 this spring, ball high. Cabrera's hit 3 round trippers this spring. He's knocked in 11. Spent some time with Team Venezuela as well in the World Baseball Classic. And Harrell backs him out of there. 2-0 on Miguel. Cabrera last year hit .333, his second consecutive batting title. And he has faced Harrell 4 times in his career, and he's not gotten a hit against him. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
3 of the 4 pitches that Harrell has featured to Cabrera have all been inside. Apparently, that's the way that they want to do. Pitch to Miguel. They want to crowd him.
And the 3-1. Little number hit back up the middle to second baseman Altuve. Will throw him out, and the Tigers go quickly and quietly in the first. We'll go to the second here in Lakeland. No score in this one. to May of last year. Justin Verlander made his start against the Pirates, and it was an awfully good one.
And one of the things that Verlander has done since coming to the major leagues, he absolutely dominates the National League. Whenever the Tigers play interleague baseball, and finally giving up a hit on a slider. Probably his fourth best pitch, but Verlander said the slider was working very well that day, and if he could do it all over again, he would throw that exact same pitch.
Josh Harrison broke up the no-hitter in the ninth inning. Verlander settling for the one-hitter. I don't think there's any doubt, though, that no-hitter number 3 in his career is on the horizon, and probably beyond that.
Every time he toes the slab, there's an opportunity that he might throw a no-hitter. His stuff is that lethal.
Here's Chris Carter to start things off now for the Astros. We go to the top of the second, no score. Carter, a big burly figure, is a former player of the year, minor league player of the year, in fact, twice in the athletics organization.
And really nothing left to do for Carter in the minor leagues. And coming to a club that lost 107 games last year, it looks like Bo Porter, their new manager, is going to give him every opportunity to get 400, 500 at-bats this year. And if he does that with his power, Carter will hit 25 to 30 home runs. There's no doubt about that. Tremendous power.
Yeah, you would think. In fact, twice in the minor leagues with Oakland, he hit over 30 in a season. That's a minor league season, which is about a month shorter than the major league season.
And there is one setback when you have a guy that has as much pop as Carter has. They're prone to strike out, and he does a lot of that.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Make it 2-2 on Chris Carter. Came over in the Jed Lowry deal. Plenty of pop to be sure, and Carter this spring with 4 home runs. He's knocked in 11. And the 2-2. To left field on a line. Barry comes over, diving, and he makes the catch.
Outstanding play. And Quentin Barry basically playing on one leg in the outfield. He is not 100%, but he feels like he needs to get out there if he's going to make the Tigers roster in 2013. Gets a great break, stretches out, gets glove underneath the ball before it hits the grass, and makes a really nice grab.
Much to the chagrin of Mr. Carter. Still can't believe that ball was caught. 1 out for Rick Ankiel. He looks at ball 1 outside. Well, Ankiel's had himself a nice spring. 406 non-roster invitee for the Astros.
From a hitting standpoint, the Houston Astros have really had a good spring. They lead the Grapefruit League in home runs, doubles, slugging percentage, on-base percentage. They've done nice work.
Well, and that's got to be something that they can point to this spring, because when you look at their roster, certainly they would expect to be somewhat offensively challenged this year as they were last year.
You don't expect those numbers to translate necessarily to the regular season, but it does give you a lot of confidence going into the regular season.
Here's the 3-0 pitch, and Keel looks at a strike, 3-1. Well, the numbers are certainly up, Rod. I mean, look at what they've done this spring. You've touched on it, and look at what they did last year. They hit just .236 as a club.
Well, Bo Porter, their new manager, is hoping that it will carry over for sure. I was looking at their schedule, and their first 21 games, they play against teams that all train out in Arizona. So they haven't seen any of the teams down here in Florida that they're going to see the first 3 weeks of the season. So it's going to be imperative for them to have a couple of scouts out there that are watching all those clubs that they're going to play the first 3 weeks.
3-2 pitch, strike 3 called. He got him looking, and Keel is out of there. Second strikeout for Justin.
It's a nice luxury to have when you've got 95 miles an hour in your back pocket, and you can come back and throw a fading changeup at 86 to freeze and Keel.
So with 2 outs, Justin Maxwell will bat. 195 hitter this spring. We're talking about the Astros and their woes last year. They finished dead last in the National League in average runs scored and hits. And so they hope to improve on those numbers this season. Fouled straight back. They'll face some pretty good pitching, though, in the American League West when you talk about what the Angels roll out there and the Rangers and even Seattle, Oakland.
Hearing some good things about the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, me too. They've added some offensive punch this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 now on Justin Maxwell. Spent parts of 3 years with the Nationals in the National League. And the 2-1. Verlander has gone 6 consecutive years of 200 or more innings, which obviously qualifies him as a workhorse. Did it again last year. 238 1/3 innings pitched. And 6 complete games. Struck out 239. And he got him, strike 3. That's his 3rd tonight. A 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander, but he needed some help. Quinn Berry in left field with a nice sliding catch. Here come the Tigers as we head to the bottom of the 2nd now in Lakeland. No score in this one. It'll be Prince Fielder to start things off for Detroit. And he looks at strike 1 from Lucas Harrell.
First 3 hitters, Jackson, Hunter, and Cabrera, uncomfortable swings against that power sinker that Harrell features.
Well, he works quickly. You mentioned last year he won 11 ball games, 3.76 ERA, and was the Astros Rookie of the Year. Did not receive any votes in the NL, though, in that category. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Prince. They want an appeal, but they're not going to get it. Harrell found out yesterday that he'll be the number 2 starter this year for the Astros, but Norris will get their opening day call, then Lucas Harrell in game 2 of the season. Young man out of Springfield, Missouri. Fielder looks at ball 4, and he'll get a leadoff walk here in the 2nd. First base on balls for Harrell.
Tigers boast one of the best 3, 4, 5 combinations in all of baseball. They can all hit for power. They all drive in plenty of runs. But something else that they do that I think goes unnoticed, they will take a walk. All of their on-base percentages hover right around 400.
Yeah, in fact, Fielder was 2nd in the American League last year with a .412 on-base percentage. Victor batting .239 this spring. Ball one outside.
Well, here's where Victor needs to make Harrell get the ball up in the strike zone. He throws lots of ground balls, and if he does get the ground ball, talking about Harrell, no doubt it will be a double play.
Lloyd McClendon, Tigers hitting coach, Jim Leland, keeping a very close eye this year, at least this spring, on Victor. And early on, they sent him out quite a bit early in spring camp. Then they found they had to back off a little bit just to be sure that his surgically repaired knee could handle it.
Well, Victor was like a kid in a candy store after missing all of 2012. When he got to spring training, he was ready to go. He wanted to play every single day. And the Tigers, they let him play every day until they figured they had to slow him down.
The 2-0. Slice to left center field, base hit. Fielder will hit the bag of second. He's coming to third base. And he'll get in there safely. It's a base hit for Victor Martinez, and the Tigers are in business here in the second.
That's what Victor Martinez does very well, knowing that against a sinker ball pitcher, you can't try to pull him. Take a look at the hand direction here. He pulls the bat knob down toward the baseball, which allows the bat head to get right on the baseball, and he laces the ball the other way. That's what you do to sinker ballers. If you pull them, you'll hit to a ground ball. And nice base running here by Prince Fielder, just running in the face of Maxwell.
Prince all the way to third, leaving runners at the corners now for Quentin Berry. Early scoring opportunity for Detroit. Berry looks at ball one. It's got to be very frustrating for a guy like Berry to obviously have the rookie campaign that he had last year and hoping that he could come into spring training this year, but that knee injury has really limited how much he's been able to play. What a great story it was last year for Detroit, providing such a spark with his enthusiasm.
I don't necessarily know how Jim and Lloyd are looking at the Berry situation, but for me, he pretty much showed them what he could do last year. He makes his money with his legs, and obviously he had a bad left knee all spring training long. But had he come to camp healthy and been healthy all spring training, no reason why he couldn't make the roster in 2013.
Well, and another one of those guys, Rod, remember the spring he had last year. I mean, he was making game-saving catches, had game-winning hits, opened up a lot of eyes.
It was a nice sign by Alex Avila, who pretty much handles the minor league roster, the AAA roster. He signed Berry, put him in center field, just in case something happened to Jackson during the course of the season. Jackson did go down, and Berry came up, and boy, did he give the team a lot of life.
He's ahead of the count here. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-2. Berry last year stole 21, was not caught. Roll to third base. They'll go to second one, and the relay is in time. The double play. Fielder will score. No RBI for Berry, and it's 1-0 Detroit. So they're empty now. The Tigers get the game's first run. And here's Johnny Peralta. Harrell getting exactly what he wanted in that situation. A hard ground ball directly at an infielder, and they turn 2.
And it's not often that Quentin Berry will hit into double plays.
Johnny takes high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnny last year struggled following the All-Star break. Hit just .218 post All-Star break.
You've got to believe that this year Avila and also Peralta, their numbers will perk up a little bit more than they were last year. And if that's the case with the first 5 guys that the Tigers have in their batting order, it's going to be a really nice season.
Johnny last year hit .239, knocked in 63. Waves and misses, and down he goes. So the Tigers get the first run of the ball game, and you're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
Having a deep rotation really allows you to shorten losing streaks and lengthen winning streaks, which is what this game's all about. You know, you want to go on a run, you want to win a bunch of games. You got to have a strong pitching staff. You got to have good performances night in and night out, and we have the ability to do that, and not a lot of teams do. So I think that's a strength of our team. We have a lot of strengths, but I also think that's one of them.
Well, here's why the Tigers are considered to have a very strong pitching staff. When you've got guys like Rick Porcello and Drew Smyly battling for the 5th spot in your rotation, that's awfully good.
Yeah, Porcello's had a great spring. Smyly also has done nothing to show that he cannot pitch in the major leagues with this Tigers team. Just a very difficult decision that Jim will have to make here the last 2 weeks of spring training. If Porcello's number 5, does Smyly go to the bullpen, or do they send Smyly to the minor leagues to get regular work every 5th day?
Carlos Corcoran leads it off and pops up the first pitch. Left side of the infield. Peralta, 1 pitch, 1 out.
I don't think there's any question if Jim's going to take the best 25-man roster up north to Detroit. Smyly's in that bullpen. But you also have to ask yourself, do you do him the justice that he needs done to him if you put him out there and your starters can go 6 and 7 every game, which you expect him to do? Smyly will just sit there.
It really is a tough call, but I think ultimately the thing you want to do is win at the major league level, and to give yourself the best chance, you need your best pieces. So maybe that does mean Smyly, if he doesn't win it, goes to the bullpen.
Okay, let me ask you one other question. So if that's the case, does Darren Downs make the team too?
See, now you're starting to get into things I don't want to get into.
That would be 3 left-handers in the bullpen.
Those are tough choices, you're right. But I look at Downs and Koch as guys that would pitch an inning at the back end of the bullpen. I would look at Smyly as maybe a guy that would have the ability to pitch a little bit longer out of the bullpen. But certainly you don't want to make him a long guy, and that's it.
I think what the Tigers can do, and I'm not privy to any inside information, they could start the season with Smyly in the bullpen. And if the Tigers starters go out every 5th day and they're going 5 and they're going 6 and 7 innings, if they get a month into the year and he isn't getting a lot of work, they can always send him down to stretch him back out again, because he will be stretched out to about 100 pitches when they do leave here.
Yeah, and that's something Jim Leland has said. He wants all of his pitchers, all 6 of them, to have at least gotten to the 100 pitch plateau before they break camp. 2-2 the count on Matt Dominguez. Off the end of the bat. Verlander will chase this one down, take it himself.
It's really a nice problem to have when you have a lot of major league clubs out there that are trying to find 5 starters. The Tigers have 6 potential starters.
Well, there's been all this talk about trading Porcello and dealing from an area of depth. But as we have seen, Rod, and you know, certainly it's very rare that you go through a season without at least 1 or 2 of your guys getting dinged up.
And there's no doubt about that. And all that talk about Porcello being traded and being on the market this whole entire offseason in the first 3 weeks of this spring training, I think it's kind of fueled him. I'm looking at a different Porcello these days.
I agree. 2 outs, and here is the number 9 hitter, Marwin Gonzalez. Verlander starts him off with a ball low, 1-0. 278 hitter this spring, Gonzalez. JV has given up just 1 hit, no runs. He has fanned 3 in this game already. There's a strike call, 1-1. Slice to center field, right at Jackson, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning again for Justin Verlander. 2.5 in the books here in Lakeland. 1-0 Detroit. Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the Egg McMuffin, only at McDonald's. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Back here in Lakeland, we go to the bottom of the third tonight on a sunny evening, if not a little bit windy here at the ballpark. Alex Avila leads it off. It'll be Avila, Infante, and then Austin Jackson. .256 this spring for Avila. 10 RBIs, though. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harrell working quickly. Gave up a walk and a single and a run back in the second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Avila will be the starting catcher this year for the Tigers. Brian Pena will back him up. Brian Holliday was sent down to the minor leagues a couple of days ago. Here's the 2-1. And while he was sent down, Rod, I know that Jim Leyland is still really high in Brian Holliday.
He did a nice job. He can handle the pitching staff. He can block balls in the dirt. He has a very good throwing arm down to second base. And he hit a little bit here when he was in spring training.
3-1 on Avila. And he lost him, ball 4. Second straight inning that Harrell has given up the leadoff base on balls. Last time the Tigers were able to score him.
Don't know if Jim will do on the very first pitch, but if Infante gets himself in a favorable count with that power sinker that Harrell features, we might see Alex take off from first base. And Tigers want to stay out of a double play. They've already hit into 1 double play here today.
Omar batting .259 this spring. That's it for strike 1.
Managers love that. That would be Bo Porter on the other side, knowing you've got a power sinker baller on the mound. If he does fall behind Infante, more than likely there will be some activity with the base runners, but you kind of negate that when you throw strike 1.
One ball, 1 strike. Omar came over in that deal that involved Anibal Sanchez last year, and Sanchez got most of the headlines, and obviously he pitched really well in the postseason and down the stretch. But Infante, I think, will give them a measure of stability at second base this year. Good to see him back in a Tigers uniform. Ball inside.
He didn't get off to a real good start after they made the deal and brought him over from the Marlins. Offensively nor defensively, he made quite a few errors early, but then he started to settle in and did a pretty nice job.
Former All-Star is a Brave back in 2010.
And here's that count where Jim might start Avila.
Nope, he's going to stick around. It's a bouncing ball deep at third. Long throw to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. Infante aboard in the fielder's choice.
And nice defensive play here by Dominguez, going back and getting the quality hop and giving Altuve a real nice feed. And you see the way that the second baseman used the bag to his advantage there. He knew there was going to be some contact with Avila coming down because of the way the play was transitioning. He was able to use that second base bag to defend himself.
Here's Austin Jackson. Ball 1 to Jackson.
Altuve's a little guy, isn't he? 5'5".
Is that what they list him at?
5'5". He's one of the smallest players to play since Freddie Patek back in the day.
Oh, I remember Freddie. 5'5", 173 is the official listing of Mr. Altuve.
Made the All-Star team last year.
He did. Good player. He led their team in extra base hits. There he is. 1 ball, 1 strike on Austin Jackson. And Infante draws the throw. Jackson last year showed improvements in a couple of areas, and I guess most notably cutting his strikeouts down. They were down by nearly 50 last season. And because of that, his on-base percentage was the highest that it has been in his 3 seasons in the major leagues. It was 3.77, so, or .377, so he really showed a lot of improvement in those areas.
Really starting to mature as a really good everyday big league player.
The 1-2. Got him. Strike three. Jackson disagrees.
This is a really good two-seam fastball. May have been a tad low, but great movement, hit the glove of Corporate.
There's Torrey Hunter now with 2 outs.
These Tigers right-handers have not had really good swings today against Harrell.
In the air on a line to right field. It'll be run down, though, by Ankiel, and that is that. Tigers get a leadoff walk, but fail to score. 3 in the books here at Joker Marchant. Courtesy of Comerica Bank. Justin Verlander on the hill in this one. Awfully good so far in this game.
And also the Tigers that scored the 1 run in the game courtesy of of Quentin Berry driving in that run, and Quentin Berry on the other side also making a really nice grab in the outfield.
And Berry able to drive in the run. Did not get an RBI, bouncing into a double play with runners at first and third, but it got Fritz Fielder home. And the Tigers have a 1-0 lead on a sunny evening, a night game here under the lights at Joker Marchant Stadium. So we go to the top of the 4th inning. Big crowds all spring long. Really not too many tickets to be had here at the ballpark. And maybe one of the best seats to have tonight is out on the berm in left field because the sun is still shining out there. Bring your blanket. Verlander back to work. He fires a strike to Jose Altuve. JV facing the minimum through 3. Gave up a single in the first, but got a double play ball. Chopper back up the middle, and it's going to find a hole into center field. Altuve has the base hit. Second hit of the game for the Astros.
Bo Porter said when spring training started he'd like to use Altuve as his number 2 hitter during the course of the regular season, but it's looking more and more like he's going to have to lead him off once again. He said he's better suited as a number 2 hitter because he doesn't walk a lot, and he feels like with the way his hand-eye coordination, hitting behind runners, he can put on a hit and run, much better suited for that number 2 spot.
Bo Porter is just 40 years old, so he's the youngest skipper in the major leagues. Brandon Laird steps in. Oh, they almost got him. Altuve leaning is almost picked off.
Yeah, we've well documented over the last 6 years that Verlander has been in the major leagues, that he has a really quick move. And the thing that allows him to have such a quick move is the fact that he's got really quick feet.
That one gets away from fielder, and Altuve will move up.
That'll more than likely be an error on Prince. Kind of handcuffed him.
Yeah. It looked a little bit odd. It is an E3 indeed, so fielder is charged with the error. The tying run now in scoring position. Swing and a miss by Laird. Came on a pinch run for Brett Wallace, who singled in the first inning and then jammed his shoulder, it appeared, diving back into the bag. Laird had to come in a pinch run, and he remained in the game. In the air, right field. Chasing Hunter back. Still going back to the track, to the wall. He turns. And that ball's out of here. Laird goes the opposite way and hits a two-run shot to give the Astros the lead. Wasn't even in the starting lineup, but he's paid some dividends.
When the ball left Laird's bat, I didn't think he had enough to hit it out, but it's a fastball that's up in the zone. He got on top of it. Torrey Hunter, I don't know if he lost it or if he was trying to deke the base runner into that he was going to catch it, but the ball got out of here. That is now the 36th home run that the Houston Astros have hit this year as a club. This spring, I should say.
Laird continues his strong spring. It's 2-1 Astros. And Pena looks at ball one.
Also quite a bit of wind blowing out toward right field, but that ball appeared to not get up that high enough to where the wind would really play into it.
Right field has to be a mess to be played tonight. I mean, you got to deal with the sun, the wind. There's a chopper back up the middle right at Peralta. One out. Well, Pena's going to be counted on to hit some homers this year for Bo Porter. And this spring, so far so good. 36 through 25 games, which, when you compare to last year, is awfully good. Chris Carter now with one out. Strike one. 16 homers in the big leagues last year in just 67 games for Carter. That's chopped toward third off the glove of Cabrera. And Carter's on his way to second base. And he'll pull in there, standing up. Two-base hit for Carter.
And ball had a lot of top spin on it, hit extremely hard. And once it hit that dirt, right off the heel of the glove of Cabrera, he got to it and got to second base, but not before Carter ran in with a stand-up double.
So Verlander had retired 7 straight coming into this inning, and now the Astros have 3 hits, including the 2-run homer by Brandon Laird. Rick Ankiel, the batter. Ball 1 to Ankiel. Ankiel was converted to an outfielder back in 2009. Began his career on the mound. Oh, that one straight back, and he caught somebody's beverage sitting on the top ledge. A direct hit. Oh, that is not good. That's a shame is what that is.
And somebody's going to have to buy them another beverage.
One ball, one strike on Ankiel. Ball high, 2-1. Well, they got him a towel, so he'll clean up a little bit.
He's not happy.
He looks bitter, doesn't he?
He's not happy.
Paid good money for that beverage. Oh, look out. Took another shot at him. He's still pretty bitter.
She's good to go. She still got her beverage.
2-2 the count. Verlander has 3 strikeouts in this game. And now JV again stepping off, not on the same page with Avila, who comes out for a visit.
And while we have a moment, let me remind you that individual game tickets for all Detroit Tigers home games are on sale now. Don't miss your chance to see the American League champions at Comerica Park. Tickets call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Still bitter. 3-2 the count. Somebody needs to buy him a new one. I mean, he needs a beverage.
Well, maybe she'll give him a little bit of her allowance and let him purchase another one.
Here's the 3-2. Another foul straight back.
And Keela's got some really good swings at the Verlander fastball. That last fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Check this out. Oh, not another one. This couple's getting more airtime tonight than you and me. 3-2 pitch again. Swing and a miss. Oh, we fouled it off. Got a piece of it to stay alive. Start number 5 this spring for Verlander, as he continues to get ready for opening day, and he'll be the Tigers pitcher on opening day in Minneapolis against the Twins, where hopefully the temperatures will warm up.
It's been chilly there.
Swing and a miss, and he finally takes care of Rick Ankiel. It's the second time he's fanned him tonight. 2 gone.
And Keel was getting some really good swings at the Verlander fastball, and he came back with back-to-back changeups. He fouled off the previous pitch, but that one he swung right through. And they're glad that one didn't come right back at him again.
2 outs. There's Justin Maxwell. Foul back out of play. Astros have taken the lead here on the 2-run homer by Brandon Laird after a leadoff single by Altuve. They have a man on with 2 men out. Carter at second base. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Peralta to his left. And that'll take care of the Astros. However, they take the lead on the homer by Brandon Laird. Well, apparently Ron Allen made a phone call to some of his peeps down there, and they got the gentleman a new beverage. How about that? Nice going, Ron.
Absolutely. He sure did get him one.
So all is good now in row one. And Miguel Cabrera leads it off. There's a ball outside to Cabrera, who will be followed by Fielder and then Martinez.
Last time Miguel was up, Harold started him off with a good two-seam fastball inside. That time, a breaking ball followed by another breaking ball.
Meanwhile, Cabrera has gone ahead in the count now. 2 balls and no strikes. The numbers last year good enough for the Triple Crown. Ball outside, 3-0. So Harold continues to be very cautious with Mr. Cabrera. Something I'm sure we will say often this year. Here's the 3-0. And a strike call, 3-1. Harold, originally a 4th-round pick of the White Sox. He was back in 2004. As Miggy hits one sharply at the shortstop in time for the out, one gone. He'll bring up the Prince. Fielder got it started back in the second with the base on balls, eventually scored the game's only run for Detroit before the Astros got 2 back to go ahead 2-1. Fielder last year hit 30 homers for the Tigers. He has hit as many as 50 in a single season. That was in his days in Milwaukee. So Prince has gone that high, the 50 plateau. His dad did as well. Cecil. That's a fair ball to first base. Right at Laird, and there are 2 gone.
Now batting number 41, Victor Martinez.
Played in 162 games last year, 343 consecutive game streak. Career best 313 average. You talked about the homers. And somehow, with all that Miguel did batting third, he still drove in 108 last season.
Pretty impressive. Prince hit 50 long balls back in 07. His dad, Cecil, hit 51 in 1990 for the Tigers. Here's Victor Martinez, who should get a lot of RBI chances this year as well. Really makes you wonder how many runs the Tigers will end up scoring this year. Back in 07, many felt the Tigers could knock in 100 or 1,000 runs, I should say. And they fell short of that plateau. But this offense, it'll score plenty.
It's one of the best in the game, and they've got some balance to the lineup. You have Jackson at the top with some speed, Hunter batting second, and then you have 3 really good hitters in Cabrera and Fielder, and also Victor.
Martinez had a base hit to set up a run back in the second.
Harold has thrown 8 ground ball outs so far. They're through the first 3 2/3 innings. We heard he had a really good sinker ball and threw lots of outs on the ground, and he's done just that.
This is what 3-4-5 has been able to do, and they will hit with power this year. They will drive in runs, and as you mentioned, their on-base percentage is all very, very good, which means a whole lot of trouble for opposing pitchers. Driven high in the air to center field. Justin Maxwell is under it, and Harold has himself a snappy 4th inning. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's New York style Reuben today. Arby's, slicing up freshness. Welcome back to Joker Marchant Stadium, Lakeland, Florida. The site tonight, 2-1 is our score. The Astros on top of the Tigers for the time being. As we go to the 5th inning, Justin Verlander back to the hill, facing the bottom of the lineup for the Astros. Carlos Corcoran will lead it off, then Matt Dominguez and Marwin Gonzalez. We're still getting familiar with this Astros team that we'll see obviously more of this year now that they're in the American League. Corcoran last season batted .269. Is 0 for 1 in this ball game. And Verlander starts off the 5th with a ball outside to Corcoran. Verlander, a 5-time All-Star. In fact, started the game last year in Kansas City for the American League. There's ball 2 inside. 2 balls, no strikes. You may recall Verlander struggled in that game, but afterwards said, you know, people didn't come to see me pitch here. They came to see me throw triple digits.
And he did that just a few pitches into that contest.
3 balls, no strikes. Justin at the top of the rotation. Scherzer number 2 behind him. Pfister, Sanchez. Now the way Jim Leland will line him up is yet to be decided. There's the strike call. And you were talking about this on the last broadcast, Rod. A lot of that has to do with, you know, who gets that first start at home, which is also an honor as well.
I'm still thinking it might be Max Scherzer.
3-1. Bouncing ball, foul, first base side. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Scherzer probably deserves it based on what he did last year. Really had an outstanding year. Tigers play 3 in Minneapolis and then come home. And that is a Twins team that you would expect is probably still a few years away from getting back to where they were. Here's Mr. Scherzer. 16 wins last year, finishing 2nd to Verlander in strikeouts. High towering fly ball right field. Back goes Hunter. He's going to turn on this one. It's way out of here and gone. The 2nd home run of the game for the Astros.
And Justin Verlander has given up quite a few home runs down here in spring training. Wind or not, that one was going to get out of here. And Corcoran got himself a fastball that was right down the middle at 91 miles an hour and a favorable count, and Torrey Hunter didn't move a lot.
It's a 4th home run Verlander has surrendered this spring. Tried to will that one back into the ballpark, but no dice. Dominguez looks at a ball high. First home run of the spring for Corcoran. Strike called on Dominguez, 1-1. So the Astros continue this power surge they've had all spring long. And that is drilled to left field, hit high and hit deep, and that ball is way back and gone. Into the berm and left. It is back-to-back home runs for the Astros. And nothing cheap about either one of them either.
You know, normally you wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into what your club is doing from an offensive standpoint during the course of spring training, but Verlander's on the mound. This Houston Astros team, they've swung the bats as well as anybody down here in spring training, and they lost 107 games last year. Any momentum they can gain going into the season will be a plus for them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And even though it is spring training, it is momentum. It is something to build on. As JV misses high, 1-0 to Gonzalez. 38 home runs now through 25 games. Last spring they hit 29 total. The chopper to second base. Infante waiting on the hop. Gonzalez is out, one gone. Back up to the top of the order now, Jose Altuve. Verlander gave up a 2-run shot to Laird in the 4th, and now back-to-back homers. Corcoran and Dominguez here in the 5th. Altuve's been involved tonight, singled, scored a run in the 4th. Ball 1. At age 22 last year, Altuve a National League All-Star. One ball, one strike. And Jeff Jones watching Verlander tonight. Tigers have Drew Smiley pitching in Vieira tomorrow against Washington. Then Anibal Sanchez will follow him. And then Doug Fister on Sunday. 2-1 the count. In the air, right field. Torrey coming in a couple of steps. 2 gone. Altuve now 1 for 3. Hunter's got to be feeling a little bit better. There's some shadows creeping into right field now. It's not as tough as it was earlier in the night where it was all sunshine. Lights beginning to take their effect a little bit, but there is still a patch of sunlight out there for Hunter to deal with.
Not only was right field somewhat troublesome, but we watched Laird at first base have some difficulty with a line drive off the bat of Austin Jackson.
Yeah, that seems to be the case whether it's a night game or day game here, because we've seen so many instances where sunshine has caused some problems defensively for teams.
And Laird played long ball his last time up. He got a fastball at the top of the zone and got on top of it and hit it out to right.
The 0-2. Verlander was heading back to the dugout.
Lance Barksdale, home plate umpire here this evening.
On the ground at first, right at Prince, and Verlander will cover to end the inning. Back-to-back homers lead off the frame, and Houston now leads 4-1. 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you will get yourself a free small order of curly fries. Unfortunately, we can't count the Astros home runs. They've hit 3 tonight. But we'll see if the Tigers can get it going here as Quentin Berry leads it off, showing bunt, ball 1.
You can't pull any strings to get that done for our lovely fans.
I'll make a phone call, but I'm not promising anything. It'll be Berry, Peralta, and Avila. Quentin knocked into a double play his first time up. It forced in a run, and Berry takes outside. 2-0.
Quentin Berry batting 6th today, and more than likely that will be Andy Dirk's spot during the course of the regular season. So Jim Leland didn't want to tinker with his first 5 hitters tonight.
What is your take on the left field position? We talked about the fact that Jim Leland would like a right-handed bat to go with Dirks out and left.
I think HOU is going to win that job.
Really?
I do.
He's kind of a dark horse, long shot.
He was, but lately he's played awfully well. And I don't think the Tigers want to give up any of their pitching to go out and try to find an everyday. Well, it wouldn't be an everyday right-handed bat, but I don't think they really want to give up anything. And HOU has had a really nice spring.
Yeah, Jeff Coburnis is in that discussion as well. Quentin Berry, of course, has been hampered with a knee injury, but he bats left-handed.
I was talking to Q during batting practice today, and he told me if he did get on, he might attempt to steal a base just to test the left knee, which has been troublesome for him all spring.
Peralta looks at a strike.
Actually, I think it's the right knee for Q.
There's your boy Tuiasa Sopo, who's had a big spring power-wise. And really offensively, period, after a slow start.
50-50 chance, left knee, right knee, one of the knees.
There's the strike called 0-2. That's why I just stick to knee. I never identify which one it is. But for a guy that makes his living with his legs, that's not a good injury to have.
No.
Berry was not caught last year. It was 21 out of 21. Ball high to Peralta. 1-2. Lucas Harrell gave up a run in the second. He's pitched well here tonight. We mentioned he'll be the number 2 starter this year for Bo Porter. Fouled back.
And really, he pitched well enough last year to earn him the opening day start. But they want to give that to Bud Norris because Bud Norris' splits, home and road, are ridiculous. He had a 1.71 ERA at home, did Bud Norris last year, and nearly 7 ERA on the road. So by him starting opening day, he can get a couple of starts at home early in the year.
Well, they figure to have Norris as their number 1, Lucas Harrell as their number 2, Philip Umber will be their number 3, but beyond that, they have a couple of guys battling for the 4 and 5 spots, including veteran Eric Bedard.
They're also going to do something that you don't hear a lot of teams doing, and they're going to take 2 long men in their bullpen to start the season of their 12-man pitching staff. And the reason for that is Bo Porter doesn't know what kind of length he's going to get out of his staff. Therefore, you have to have some guys in the bullpen that can eat up some innings for you early in the year.
Saw Doug Brocail seated next to Bo Porter, the pitching coach for the Astros, former Tiger as well. Brocail right there in his second full season as the pitching coach for Houston. In fact, Doug pitched 4 seasons with the Tigers, 97 to 2000. One and 2 on Peralta. On a line toward left field, sinking, base hit.
That is a nice job by Johnny Peralta because Harrell was barreling down with that real good sinker ball, and Peralta continued to foul off pitch after pitch. Finally getting one up in the zone. Didn't hit it sharply, but got enough of it to hit it in front of Carter in left field to get himself a single.
Believe it or not, that is only the second hit of the night for the Tigers. The other was a single by Victor Martinez in the second.
Harrell has to feel really good about what he has done here tonight against a really good offensive club.
So here is Avila. 273 last season with men in scoring position. Alex had a base on balls back in the third. Tigers had a 1-0 lead, but a pair of 2 spots for the Astros each of the last 2 innings. There's a strike called on Alex. What do you make of the Brian Pena signing, and how much time do you think he'll get behind Avila?
I think he's going to get quite a bit of time. Switch hitting catcher. He's got some power. And Jim has continued to run him out there, catching all the pitchers, catching a lot of their bullpens. He's a quality backup catcher, and it will give Avila some time to rest and make sure he's not overused this year.
1 ball, 1 strike.
He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. That much is for sure.
Pena, no doubt. Yeah. He'll fit in nicely. Jim Leland knows there aren't too many spots he has to decide on, but the ones that he still has to work on are fairly important, obviously. The 5 spot of the rotation and the closer spot. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. So Harrell really for the first time tonight is dealing with some difficulty out on the mound.
I know Valverde struggled down the stretch last year, and that's the reason why he is not with this ball club. But Jim had a real nice luxury the last few seasons with Valverde at the back end of that bullpen. Those last 3 outs to get in the game. There are not a lot of guys that can do it with consistency.
Missed it, and the count goes 3-1.
They do have some guys in their bullpen that can step up and get those last 3 outs on occasion. And that would be Benoit, that would be Cope, that could even be Albuquerque or Villarreal. But I think Jim wants that one guy out there that he knows that he can call on a nightly basis, and that will give him the best opportunity to win games.
Well, Bruce Rondon is also scheduled to pitch in this ball game tonight. We'll see if he does indeed come in. And there's a base hit to right field for Avila. Barry coming to third. They're going to send him home, and he will score. The throw to third base is in time, and Peralta is gunned down by the right fielder Ankiel. Well, we know Ankiel's got a gun, and he showed it off there.
It's a really nice swing by Avila to drive in Quentin Berry, and it looked to me that Ankiel, he came up and he looked to throw home, and then he still had enough time to throw the ball to third base to get Johnny Peralta, although it looked like Peralta may have gotten that right foot in there.
He was safe.
It also gives you an idea of the arm strength of Ankiel, who has one of the best throwing arms of any outfielder in baseball.
Infante chases one out of the strike zone.
It looked like Dominguez, their third baseman. He grabbed the ball up the third baseline, reached back to tag Peralta, and never really got the tag on him. But third base umpire Greg Gibson was right there.
One ball, 1 strike. Infante reaching on a fielder's choice back in the third. 274 overall last year, 12 home runs. Two and 1. The most stressful inning that Harrell has had to this point. Astros claimed him off the waiver wire in 2011 from the White Sox, and he's done very well since joining the Astros. I mentioned he was probably their most consistent pitcher last year. He's getting a little bit frustrated at himself right now. He's fallen behind 3-1. The ground ball back up the middle. Should be 2. There's 1. Altuve's relay not in time. Safe at first base. Well, it wasn't hit extremely hard, but it still looked like a double play all the way.
Great hustle by Omar Infante, and that's a ball that I know Bo Porter during the course of the regular season, even here in spring training, it has to be turned over. But Altuve, their second baseman, very nonchalantly comes across the bag. Not a lot of aggression there by Altuve. Therefore, they didn't turn it over.
So the inning is still alive, and here is Austin Jackson. 4-2, Astros lead in the fifth. Jackson tonight 0 for 2, strikeout, ground out. The American League leader last year in triples, and of course has played Comerica Park, and you have some speed. Got a chance to rack up a few of those. It is a really good triples ballpark, especially out in right center field.
I think Austin Jackson will bunt a little bit more often this year. I was talking to he and Torrey Hunter during batting practice today, and that's something that he said that he's been working on, and something that he may try to do a little bit more of. A couple of days ago, we watched Torrey Hunter bunt for a base hit down the third baseline, and Torrey told me that he had 9 bunt base hits last year. Jackson, I believe, had just 2.
The 1-1. Well, certainly a guy with his speed and his ability could benefit by dropping down a bunt or two, and even if it only affects the way they start to play you defensively.
That's exactly what Torrey Hunter said. He said that he just fakes every now and then to bring the third baseman in, because Torrey can pull the baseball down toward third base and hit the ball past the third baseman. You get yourself a double.
Popped him up. Altuve camps under it, and the inning is over. Tigers will settle for 1 run, 5 in the books here in Lakeland.
Justin Verlander's given up 3 home runs in the game this evening, and all of the pitches that he's given up the home run balls on have been right down the middle, about belt buckle high. 1 to Laird, 1 to Corcoran, and 1 to Dominguez. We're not used to Justin Verlander getting the ball up into that area, let alone giving up 3 big flies in a game.
So Verlander goes back to work. 3 homers in this ball game tonight, and he has given up 5 on the spring now. He'll face Carlos Pena, the number 3 hitter for the Astros. It'll be Pena, Carter, and then Ankiel due up here in the top of the 6th.
Those last 5 home runs that he's given up have come in his last 2 starts.
0 for 2 tonight for Pena. A couple of ground balls. And he looks at ball 1.
The big league starts, I should say. He did have 1 minor league start sandwiched in between the 2.
Justin tonight with a total of 4 strikeouts to this point. Outside 2-0. Verlander has led the league in strikeouts each of the last 2 years. The last time the Tigers had a back-to-back strikeout king was the 1959 and 1960 campaigns when Jim Bunning did it. And Verlander a good bet again to win in that category. That's popped up a mile high. Shallow center field. Jackson comes on. Pena's out, one gone. It's going to bring in Chris Carter. All-time strikeout leaders, of course, Mickey Lolich, over 2,600 strikeouts in franchise history.
If Justin stays healthy before it's all said and done, he'll be on the top of that list.
Carter had a double, did not score back in the fourth. Ball one. Well, the one thing about Justin is that he has been very durable, which, you know, for a guy that throws as hard as he does, he really competes, but he keeps himself in outstanding shape. You can count on him for 33 starts a year, maybe 34.
He's got a perfect delivery. Release point's the same, whether it's the fastball, the curve, the change, or the slider. Works extremely hard in the offseason. First week of 2013, he was right down here in Lakeland, Florida, hanging out on the minor league side, getting himself prepared for this season.
That's in for a strike.
And he has pretty much done that every single year and that he has been in the big leagues.
Rookie of the year in 06, MVP in the Cy Young just 2 years ago. Lots of gaudy numbers already. Broke his bat. That might roll back fair, but it's not. It was heading back toward the line.
Something happened to Avila there. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't know if a piece of wood flew in his eye or what, but something happened to Avila there.
I think you're right. Hard to tell on that replay. Maybe the back the backswing. Whatever it is, he's shaking it off.
As he does on most nights.
Two balls, two strikes on Chris Carter. Tigers tonight have managed only 3 hits against Lucas Harrell. Three and two now. And the 3-2 is a strike call. This is 84th pitch of the night. And he strikes out Carter looking. 5 strikeouts now for Verlander. Here comes a skipper, and that's going to be it.
It's a well-located fastball at 92 miles an hour, and if that's going to be your last pitch of the night, you want to locate it where he located that one.
So Verlander will depart. His night is over. Gave up 3 homers tonight, but he'll give way to the bullpen. Now Albuquerque comes trotting in. And we have a wall-side windows pitching change. We'll step aside, and we'll come back to Lakeland. Verlander done for the night as we play here in the 6th inning. Tigers trailing Houston 4-2. The numbers on Verlander, 5 2/3 tonight. He didn't walk anybody. He fanned 5, but he allowed 3 homers in this game. And your impressions, Mr. Allen?
You think he's still going to make the squad?
I think he's still the opening day starter. Here's Albuquerque taking over. I don't think he's got anything to worry about. Albuquerque brings home the first pitch, and it's skied to left center field. Jackson, long run, going to get there. And 1 pitch, and that's all it took. 1, 2, 3 inning. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th.
We know we have a good team. We just got to go out there and put it all together. And it starts here in spring training. Your chemistry, your camaraderie, your timing, and different things like that. It starts here. You can't just go out in spring training because you have a veteran team or guys that put up some numbers that did some things, some stars. You can't just say, hey, I'm good. We're going to go. We'll be ready for the season no matter what. We want to just get in here, you know, get the chemistry, get the timing, get used to playing with each other, and go from there.
Well, that's a veteran, Torrey Hunter. He knows what he's talking about. Here's a flashback to 1999, his first Major League home run
Against the Tigers.
Yeah, how about that? Tiger Stadium. Brian Moeller served that one out. One that Torrey will always remember. And it's going to be Hunter leading things off in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Tigers down 4-2 tonight. New pitcher is Hector Ambriz.
Ambriz has got a really good arm. Fastball will go anywhere from 88 to 95 miles an hour. He's got a nice little tight curveball, a slider, a splitter, and also a changeup that's still a work in progress.
And so here is Hunter to start things off. He is showing bunt. Ball 1.
We were just talking about Torrey Hunter and Austin Jackson and the fact that they may bunt a little bit this year on occasion.
Torrey tonight is 0 for 2, ground ball and a fly ball. Blown away, 2-0. Ambriz is a native of Placentia, California, was born in Orange, California. And with Houston last year, appeared in 18 games. Here's the 2-0. That's it for a strike, 2-1.
Ambriz had shoulder surgery when he was playing collegiately at UCLA. And then just a few years ago, he had Tommy John surgery, missed the entire 2011 season. So he's been somewhat injury prone.
And he missed inside. Not by a whole lot. Got some changes. Rick Ankiel has moved to center field. And J.D. Martinez now is the new right fielder. Meanwhile, 3-1 on Torrey Hunter. Again showing bunt, and he backs out for strike 2. Hunter signed a 2-year deal in November. The Tigers acted quickly on getting Torrey into the fold. Swing and a miss. So Ambriz comes back to strike him out. One gone. They'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Tonight, Cabrera's put the ball on the ground twice. He is 0 for 2. And he takes ball 1 outside. Cabrera, for all of the tremendous things he did last year offensively, for the first time in his career had over 200 hits. Ooh, that was a swing that you don't normally see him take.
Good hard slider at 87 miles an hour.
Care to decipher what he said after swinging and missing on that last one?
It's the family show.
Here's the 1-1. That one missed. 2-1. 4-2 Astros lead. Lucas Harrell started this game, gives way to Hector Ambriz here in the 6th. Prince Fielder will be next. Green 1. Tigers tonight have managed only 3 hits in this game. A single by Victor in the 2nd. RBI hit by Avila. Knocked in a run. They're the hit leaders last year. Derek Jeter, 216, led the way. Then Cabrera, the only 2 in the American League to reach the 200 plateau. And that one misses high. And so Cabrera gets himself a walk.
Are we going to recognize anybody from that New York Yankees team when they come to Comerica Park that first week of the season?
No, because it looks like Jeter now is having trouble again with the ankle. Teixeira's out. Granderson's out. They're going to be hurting early on in the season. There's Fielder standing in. Some other news and notes around the major leagues. Talk about Jeter. Looks like Aroldis Chapman, they're reporting, is going to go back to the bullpen. They were tinkering, or at least thinking about the idea of putting him in the starting rotation.
I know their camp was divided on that. There were some that wanted Chapman in that starting rotation. Then there were some that said if it's not broke, why fix it? And a tough break for Hanley Ramirez, playing for the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic. Going to have a surgery on his thumb. He might miss 2 months.
And a ball on Prince. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So D. Gordon might be their shortstop now in Los Angeles to start the season. Chase Headley was also on that graphic.
And he was possibly going to play for Team USA. And misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And good hitters count here for Prince. If he gets one of those fastballs up in the zone, and we know that he could trot around the bases himself. He did it 30 times last year.
It's a hard ground ball to second. Altuve down to his knees, flips it to second for 1, and that is a double play. He hit a missile, and it turns into a 4-6-3. Let's go to the 7th in Lakeland.
himself into a favorable fastball count. He got the fastball and hit an absolute seed right at Altuve. Altuve shuffles over to Gonzalez, and they turn it over 6-4, 6-3 variety. It's the second twin killing the Tigers have hit into today.
So it's 4-2 in favor of the Astros as we go to the top of the 7th. Al Albuquerque back to the hill. He came on to throw one pitch in the 6th and got an out.
Albuquerque was breezing along all spring until his last outing. And he lasted only 2/3 of an inning. Only gave up one hit, but he gave up 4 runs, 3 of which were earned, and he walked 3. So he had a bout of wildness in his last outing. He took the loss against the Washington Nationals.
J.D. Martinez gets his first at bat of the game. When he is on, though, he is as dominant as anybody coming out of a bullpen in the American League. And with that dominant slider that he's had.
He also has a fastball that has gotten up to 98 miles an hour this spring. And when you have that kind of separation, 98 miles an hour, and you go down to 83 with that legitimate swing and miss slide piece, you're going to get a lot of outs.
They get a strike on the appeal, 1-1.
But I think more and more teams are starting to understand and realize that, for the most part, when Albuquerque comes into the game, he's going to throw majority sliders. Therefore, teams have started to lay off that pitch till they get themselves a fastball, as Martinez got right there, and he whistles it right back up the box.
Yeah, 94 miles an hour. Didn't matter. A base hit for Martinez.
Hey, fans, you can have your picnic or party at an upcoming Tigers game. In 2013, group picnics and party suites are on sale now. Groups of 15 or more get discounted tickets to select games. Call 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com. I saw a number the other day on Albuquerque, and I think 35% of the pitches that he throws are sliders. And I know the one thing that they've tried to get him to do a little bit more of is to locating his fastball, because the fastball has a lot of giddy up on it at 95, 96. You get ahead of the hitters with the fastball, and then you go to your slider.
Well, Al last year missed the first 4 months of the season following elbow surgery. But it was that 2011 campaign that certainly was a breakout season for Albuquerque.
Lights out.
And he came out of nowhere, too. That thing is hit a mile high into right field. Hunter doesn't know where it is.
No shot. He's got no shot at catching it either.
Didn't matter, did it?
It sure didn't.
Wow.
It's been a rough day out there for Torrey today. I mean, not that he has made any mistakes, but he really has not seen the baseball real well today. Sun early, and then he didn't see that one.
How about these Houston Astros? That's 4 home runs tonight. Hunter had no idea where that one was, but in the end, it did not matter.
That's the second homer of the game for Corcoran. He went down and got that slider.
Not only his second home run of the game, but his first 2 of the spring. Did you see that? I didn't see it, says Torrey. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Strike 1 on Matt Dominguez. So the Astros now have added to their lead at 6-2. And they've done it exclusively via the home run ball. Strike call. 0-2. Dominguez had a home run in the 5th inning. 1 for 2 in the ballgame tonight.
Of all the home runs they've hit today, he's probably hit his the hardest right here in the 5th. That was a seed.
Incoming onto the berm. 1-2. High fly ball, right field. It appears that Torrey can see this one, and that is on number 1.
Get me out of here, Torrey says.
He cannot wait for this game to end. That's the first out. Here's Marwin Gonzalez.
And Torrey was telling me today that as we get a look at what Torrey's looking at today, not only the lights, but you look up into the sky just starting to get dark here, and it's just very difficult to see.
Has popped up third base side. Who wants it? Cabrera.
Torrey was telling me with the scheduled day off yesterday, a couple of days ago after they played their game, he said he flew back home, and he said he was able to watch his son play a baseball game yesterday in the Dallas area. So
nice.
Said his son was very happy to see him. It's one thing a lot of these players that have sons that are older, obviously their sons are playing baseball this time of year, and they don't get a chance to see him very often. But he took time out to fly home to watch his son play.
Got to be a great feeling. Here's Jose Altuve. That's in there for a strike. Altuve with a single and a run scored. He's 1 for 3.
You and I both know what that feels like, because we're usually working during the course of baseball season for our kids that are in high school or college, and we don't get a chance, or did not get a chance, to see them play all that often.
Well, I saw the look on your face the other day when we were out in the backfields and your son came by wearing a Tigers uniform in minor league camp. It said Allen on the back, and that had to make you feel really good.
Absolutely. He's having a good time over there.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And it's a lot of competition over there, too. It's his first spring training. There's a lot of guys over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids rolling around.
Every man for himself.
Bouncing ball right past Albuquerque, but right to Infante. And after the 2-run homer, things settle down, but 2 more in for the Astros. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family is not just our name, it's the way we do business. Nighttime here in Lakeland, Florida. It's been all Houston tonight. They've hit a ton of home runs, 4 to be exact. And some key additions around the Central. Well, there are going to be some improved teams without a question in the Central Division this year, Rod. And I think the Indians have made some strides.
Michael Bourne did a fabulous job. 276 steals in his big league career. They added in Nick Swisher, a guy that's great in the clubhouse and also has a lot of power. And they also got themselves a new manager, a 2-time World Series winning manager, and that's Terry Francona.
Royals, meanwhile, get their ace. James Shields comes over along with Wade Davis in that big deal where they sent Will Myers the other way. And here's the other guy that's not really talked a whole lot about, and that's Irvin Santana.
If they can somehow get him to bounce back and pitch the way that he pitched in his early days in the Los Angeles Angels system, they've got themselves a really nice rotation with Jeremy Guthrie also in that rotation.
Victor Martinez will lead it off as we go to the home half of the 7th inning. And the first pitch is skied in the air to right field, coming toward the corner. Martinez backing up, and he can't get it. Up against the wall. And Victor will go to second base. Looked like he had a beat on that ball, but couldn't haul it in. And right field continues to be a nightmare.
And ball had a lot of air underneath it. And Victor thought he was going to be out. You're absolutely right. Looked like he saw it all the way. Of all the teams in our division, I think the Kansas City Royals have helped themselves the most. Dayton Moore, their general manager, made a shrewd move, trading Will Myers, one of the best prospects in all of baseball, to Tampa. But he got two good starters in return, in Wade Davis and big game James Shields.
Well, because every year we seem to say the same thing. They've got a nice little nucleus of offensive talent, but they just need to upgrade the pitching, and it appears that they've done that. Well, he used one of the best prospects in baseball to do that. And Dayton Moore has been able to do a very nice job as far as the Royals' position players are concerned, but they hadn't done very well with their draft picks as pitchers. So he went on the free agent, not the free agent market, but the trade market, and got himself a couple of good ones. Brad Peacock is the new pitcher for the Astros. Barry takes a ball low.
The plan for Bo Porter today was to use Lucas Harrell, who started the game for 5, and then use Peacock for 4. But we saw Hombres pitch 1 inning here today as well.
Peacock is out of Palm Beach, Florida. Here's the 1-1. Sliced foul just outside of the bag at third. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peacock has been rated as a top prospect over the past couple of seasons. That's a big league time in the Washington organization a couple of years ago. And won 12 games in AAA last year. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Quinn is out of there, 1 gone. And the other team, I guess, to keep our eyes on in the Central is Chicago White Sox. Really, Rod, they haven't done a whole lot.
They really haven't. They have not made a lot of moves. They have not made a lot of adjustments to their rotation or to their everyday players.
Of course, the Twins are going to struggle. You would expect that they would. They did reshape their pitching, picking up Vance Worley, Mike Pelfrey, and Kevin Correa.
They have an outstanding general manager in Terry Ryan, who used a couple of really good outfielders to get him some pitching prospects back in return.
Ball 1 to Johnny Peralta.
But I don't think, at least in my opinion, that any of those teams really are going to challenge the Tigers other than Kansas City. Kansas City is very interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the Twins at the trading deadline if Justin Morneau becomes available. If they are out of it, which you would expect they would be. High fly ball left field. Trevor Crowe is under this one. And Peralta's out, 2 gone. Tigers had to really put the pedal to the metal last year late in the season to win the Central Division. They ended up winning it by 3 over the White Sox. But the Twins finished 22 games out. Indians were 20 out.
Royals had a couple of really lengthy long streaks. I think at one time they lost 12, 13 games in a row.
Yeah, they did.
It's not going to happen this year with their pitching staff.
Here's Alex Avila. Leadoff double by Martinez, but he is still standing at second base. Missed it outside, 1-0. Avila had a single to drive in a run in the 5th inning, and now Alex with 11 runs driven in this spring. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 the count. Hombres pitching 1 inning. That was the 6th. And now Peacock here in the 7th, trying to pitch around a leadoff 2-base hit. Astros have used the strength of 4 home runs tonight to put up their 6 runs. And we'll see what Avila gets here on 2-0. Got the fastball, but it missed low. 3-0. Infante waiting on deck. Spring training a week longer this year because of the World Baseball Classic, and typically you hear players start to grumble this time of the year the spring is getting long, but this year they've got a legitimate reason to feel that way.
That they do.
That extra week has really made it for a long spring camp, but the WBC is over now. Octavio Dotel, by the way, has rejoined the Tigers. He's swinging 3-0, and he pops it up. Third base side looks like it's playable, and it is. So the Tigers get a leadoff double, but Strahan Martinez, 7 in the books, and you're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Two is our score. The Astros on top, and we remind you to join us again Monday at 1 p.m. for more spring training baseball. The Tigers take on the Marlins. That's Tigers baseball at 1 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tune us in on Monday. And our final spring telecast, of course, we've got a big slate in the regular season, 152 games at Fox Sports Detroit. And a whole lot of interleague action as well, much more so this year. We're going to be joined by Alex Avila this half inning as well, who is done for the evening. Alex, we made a full line change here. It looked like all the starters walked out at the same time.
Yeah, Skip wanted to get 7 in for us and then get us out of there. Some of the guys are going to be going to Vieira tomorrow, and some of us, like myself, will have the day off. But it was good to get 7 in.
Joaquin Benoit taking over.
Alex, I saw you swing at that 3-0 pitch before you left. Is that something that you think that you might do a little bit more often this year?
Well, I think times when I have 3-0, I think Skip has pretty good confidence in me to swing at a strike. Especially when there's guys on base, knowing that you'll probably be getting a fastball. That one there probably got a little bit too big, get a little greedy, trying to hit it over the fence. But, I think Skip has a lot of confidence in me to do that.
Well, tell us about what you saw out of Justin Verlander tonight. Obviously, he gave up the 3 home run balls, but what else did you see?
Well, today, after the first couple innings, started to work a lot with his breaking pitches, his slider and his curveball. He's kind of been in and out as far as consistency with both of those pitches the last few times he's been out, so he really wanted to work on those. And, he hung a few, and they got hit pretty hard, but Today it was about him trying to get a feel for those pitches and get ready for the season.
Brandon Laird, the batter here. Benoit, the Tigers pitcher. He misses outside, 3-1.
So even with just a couple of starts to go down in spring training, some of the guys that know they're going to be on the staff, they're still trying to fine-tune some of the breaking stuff.
Yeah, I think, guys, that throw a little bit harder, guys like, Max and Justin on our staff, you know that the fastball is always going to be there. It's a matter for them throwing as many times throughout the spring to gain the endurance. The velocity will come after that, but the biggest thing, the most important thing for them is getting a feel for their off-speed stuff. And for those guys, they'll always be fine-tuning until the season starts. And once it starts, it's go time.
Alex, we know this is a very talented staff that you will catch this year, but has there been anyone this spring that has impressed you or stood out a little bit, surprised you maybe a little bit?
To be honest with you, I haven't seen very many surprises. A lot of the guys have been throwing really, really well. I've really, what you guys have been doing, I've expected. I've caught them enough to know what they've got and how they go about their business and preparing for not only the season but their outing. And between our starting staff and our relievers, everybody's been throwing well, and really I haven't been surprised by anything, and everybody's been doing their part to get ready.
Alex, give us your thoughts on Bruce Rondon. I know he's going to pitch an inning here after Benoit departs, and I know he got off to a little bit of a shaky start down here in spring, but lately he's done much better.
Yeah, I think after he worked a little bit with Jonesy on the side there, he felt a lot more comfortable. I think early on, obviously there was a lot of attention on him, so he was probably trying to impress a little bit too much rather than just throw his game and allow his talent to take over. And after that little session, and he's been throwing great, and he looks really good. His stuff is so good. Once he starts to feel comfortable and gains that confidence, he could be a guy that is a game changer and someone that can be a shutdown type of reliever.
Carlos Pena, the batter here, as we play in the 8th inning, chatting with Alex Avila. And Alex, you look like you're in great shape, but I've always wondered about big league catchers. What is it like at the end of the season? I mean, do you go into hibernation for a full month after the season ends? You get banged up, especially you, so much. What is it like that first month?
Well, the first 3 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks, I'm pretty much a couch potato. Wake up late, eat breakfast. I joke a lot with my wife that I just basically go from the bed to the couch, and I don't move the entire day and just watch TV, and basically I'm very lazy for a good month.
How do you get away with that?
well, with a baby on the way in a couple of weeks, that won't be anymore, that's for sure.
We're a couple of weeks out?
We're a couple of weeks out. It's going to be right around opening weekend for us in Detroit, so that's going to be a busy week for me.
Talk about Porcello for a moment. I know he's gotten rid of the slider. He's throwing a curveball down here. He has a changeup, the fastball, the velocity 95, 96. He looks a little different to me down here in spring training, almost like he's on a mission.
Yeah, well, he definitely has definitely been focused. I think it started with what he was doing in the off season to get ready for spring training, and his curveball, that was his pitch originally when he was coming through the minor leagues and his rookie year in the big leagues. That was the pitch he was throwing, and that kind of evolved into a slider, and a cutter at times, over the last few years. And I think it was a good decision for him to go back to it, because I think as he matured over the last few years, got a little bit stronger. His arm definitely matured, throwing a little bit harder. His curveball is definitely a very good pitch right now. The way he's been throwing it, real good. Sometimes it's almost a 12-6 curveball, which is very difficult to throw. And it gives a hitter a different look. It's got a real big break, and there's a big speed difference there between that and his fastball, which is good. And when he was throwing his slider, there wasn't as much of a difference in velocity. But with the curveball, there's a much bigger difference, which is makes it a little tougher.
Alex, we appreciate you taking some time here tonight. Good luck with the new baby. Good luck on opening day, and the check's in the mail. Thanks for filling some time with us tonight.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. That's Alex Avila and some of his thoughts here this evening. Tigers trailing 6-2. He's preparing for what is going to be another long, grueling season, but I'm sure he'll be ready for the challenge.
And some sleepless nights, too.
With the new baby.
You're right.
No doubt. Phil Koch went through that last year. And Alex will be going through that. We wish him well. 1 ball and 1 strike on Trevor Crow, getting his first at bat in the game. Benoit's 1-1 is on the ground to the right side. Right at Tuiasosopo. And that is that. 1-2-3 inning for Joaquin Benoit. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Tonight, Quentin Berry, outstanding catch out in left field. Stretching out. And robbing an Astro of an extra base hit. We check out our Comerica Bank game summary tonight. Tigers had Justin Verlander on the hill. He went 5 2/3, struck out 5, and didn't walk anybody.
That's key. He had the 5 strikeouts, as you mentioned, but he didn't walk anything. Other than that, I know Verlander is not all that pleased with what he did out there today. Gave up 6 hits, 4 runs. He gave up 3 home runs. He has 1 more start before they head to Minnesota, and I'm sure he'll be ready to go the next time he does get the ball. I'm not worried about him at all.
So as we go to the bottom of the 8th, the Tigers are down 6-2. Devon Travis, who in our last broadcast homered a couple of days ago here. He'll lead things off. A swing and a miss.
This was Tuesday.
Little guy put a charge into one.
Yes, he did.
And he shoots this one toward right center field, sinking, a base hit.
He's shown that he can handle that bat. Long ball on Tuesday, pulls his hands in nicely on a 91 mile per hour fastball and gets barrel on it and hits himself a solid single. Nice path to the ball by Travis. I know we didn't talk about him much, and because we were talking to Alex Avila, but how about the spring Joaquin Benoit is having? He has not given up a run all spring.
Don Kelly will stand in. Well, there's no doubt Benoit is going to be a huge piece again this year. And sometimes spring numbers can be so deceiving, and sometimes you pay attention, sometimes you don't. But I think in terms of Benoit, it shows that he came into camp ready to pitch, and he should hit the ground running opening day.
His fastball first couple of outings was all the way up to 95, 96 miles an hour. Joaquin is a free agent after this season. He has pitched marvelous baseball the last 3 years, one of those years for the Tampa Bay Rays. And for whatever reason, if Rondon does not pitch well enough or does not show Jim Leland that he is ready to be the closer, of the Tigers when they get to Minnesota on April 1st. And Benoit can do that.
That he can. Pitched very well last year for the Tigers. Big piece again this year at the back end of the bullpen. Strike call on Kelly, and the count is 1-2 on Don.
And if you need a left-hander down there real late in the game, and they might need that left-hander in Minnesota with the M&M boys, Bauer and Morneau. Phil Koch also showed last year that he is capable of closing out a game too.
Here's the 1-2. Do you think a team can win with a closer by committee setup?
Not all year. I think at some point in time, one will surface, or Dave Dombrowski will make a deal and get himself an everyday closer if he feels like he doesn't have one on this current roster. But I think you can get away with it for a while.
It's Bruce Rondon warming up, so we'll see him, it appears, in the 9th inning. Kelly lines one to right field. Martinez runs it down. One out. Ben Gez will step in now. He'll get his first at bat.
I think if you look at all the teams, all the really good teams the last number of years, they've all had that one lockdown closer back into the game.
Well, it seems to do a lot for the team's psyche if you have that one guy that you know you can count on coming out of the 9th inning.
There's nothing more demoralizing than for your team to have a lead going into the 8th inning, whether it be a 3-run lead, 2 or 1-run lead, and then you lose that game. That takes a lot out of you. And that's one thing about Valverde. As bad as he was down the stretch last year, his last couple of years in the Tigers uniform, there was no one better from a percentage standpoint in closing out games than Jose Valverde was.
It really is amazing, though, when you think about it, though, how quickly you can lose it and how quickly, you know, a really good season can turn into a kind of a sour ending.
More amazing, he has not signed a contract yet. Does not have a job.
I think if he would have been able to pitch in the World Baseball Classic, which he was hoping to do, it might have helped his chances.
Kyle Loesch doesn't have a job either.
How's that possible?
I don't even know.
Here's the 2-0. That's a strike, 2-1. Ben Gez getting his first at bat. Splitting time last year in AA and AAA. Hit 308 at Erie and then 284 at AAA. A little bit of power. Hit 9 home runs overall last season. Checked it. Strike call. 2-2. Home run balls the difference tonight. 4 of them for the Houston Astros. 3 of them were hit against Justin Verlander. Two balls, 2 strikes. Three and 2. Gez has been a member of the Tigers system since 2008. Played his college ball at the College of William and Mary. Swing and a miss. Down he goes.
Hey fans, Wednesday, April 10th, the Tigers host the Toronto Blue Jays at 1 p.m. The first 10,000 fans will receive an April a D, a Miguel Cabrera mini bobblehead, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
And I'm assuming this will be another year of terrific giveaways at Comerica Park.
As it is every year.
There's Kevin Russo batting with 2 outs. Ball 1. Jim Leland getting all of his starters out. after 7 innings tonight. Russo this spring hitting .300. Skipper planning for the final week and a half of spring training. It's back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, when you have a team as talented as Leland has this year, right now you're trying to get through spring without any major injuries, get guys healthy, get them to opening day.
That is the key. And because once the bell rings, and not only when the bell rings, but even down here, the last few days of spring training, you want your guys to step it up a little bit. You want your guys to play with a sense of urgency, because it's hard to just turn it on once the bell does ring on April 1st.
But we have seen what can happen in spring training, and Curtis Granderson is injured, so he'll miss the start of the year for the New York Yankees.
Teixeira, possibly Jeter.
And we told you a little earlier on the broadcast some of the other guys.
Even their GM's on the DL.
Cashman. He's walking around, isn't he, with crutches?
He sure is.
2-2. Kevin Russo. Ooh, nasty pitch. He caught him looking, and that is that. Tigers get a leadoff single. Strand man, and we go to the 9th. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. For a free in-home estimate, call 1-800-521-7800. On our way to the 9th inning here at Joker Marchant Stadium, and here he is. Bruce Rondon will take the hill now for Detroit.
And we were having that conversation with Avila, and Rondon got off to a little bit of a shaky start, although you really don't see it in the numbers. He checks in with a .312 earned run average. You look at the 15 strikeouts and 8 2/3 because he has a fastball that will get up to triple digits. As a matter of fact, the first pitch he throws might be 100 miles an hour, and he also has a slider. So that could be a really good pitch for him when he does get his arm in a really good, nice position and lets it go properly.
The other thing that people say about Rondon is, aside from the talent and the stuff he has, it appears the makeup, the mental makeup to handle the position. And Rick Ankiel will lead it off. And the first pitch at 97 is in for strike one.
Well, that's a big part of it. You have to have a really short memory as a closer when you do have that rare bad evening. You have to be able to turn the page and go back out there that next night if your manager calls upon you again.
The 0-1. That one in 98. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Rondon did pitch a little bit in Venezuela this year in winter ball. I believe the Tigers finally shut him down right around December, the first of the year, to make sure he was ready to go once he got here to spring training.
That's in at the knees, and the count is 1-2 on Keel, who didn't like the call. Rondon last year put up an ERA of 1.53 in his time in really 3 different levels, Lakeland, Erie, and Toledo. And he rolled up 29 saves. Two balls, 2 strikes. Tigers minor league pitcher of the year last year, Bruce Rondon.
I would have to say, of all the decisions that Jim has to make, he and Dave Dombrowski down the stretch, whether Rondon will be the closer or not is the biggest decision they have to make.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, when you look at the other decisions that have yet to be made, the 5 spot in the rotation, that's, I mean, you got a couple of good viable candidates. So either way you go, you'll be okay there. But the closer spot's such a vital spot at the back end of your bullpen. Here's the 3-2. Hammered to center field. Kelly going back. Gonna have room. Almost 420.
That just goes to show you, and Jim talks about it quite often. I don't care if you shoot a bullet from home plate. When big league hitters know that fastball's coming, they can hit it hard. That fastball's 97 miles an hour and absolutely scorched to straightaway center field. That's why it's imperative to have the secondary pitch, whether it be the slider, whether it be the changeup, that you can occasionally throw in certain situations.
J.D. Martinez looks at a breaking ball outside, 1-0. Well, Rondon was not only voted as having the best fastball in the Tigers organization, but the best slider as well in the minor leagues. The 1-0. The heater that time. Strike called on the outer edge.
He has gone all the way up to 98 miles an hour with his fastball and 81 with a breaking ball. Ooh.
1-2. Last one at 100 miles an hour. And another one floating into right center field. That'll drop in, base hit.
At 100 miles an hour.
Just incredible. I mean, the hand-eye coordination to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, to me, is just astounding.
The difference in this one and the last one was this one was up in the strike zone.
Please join me in the coach for Houston, number 2, Brandon Barnes.
So Martinez singles. He is lifted for Barnes, the pinch runner. Brandon Barnes. Here's Corcoran. He's homered twice in this game. And a ground ball to the right side. It'll get through. Base hit. Barnes on his way to third. And he'll get there standing up. First and third now for the Astros.
Now batting number 30, Matt Dominguez.
Quite a night for Corcoran here tonight. That ball's down and he finds a hole in the right side of the infield.
Casali is out there on the mound to settle down Rondon, who is just 22 years old, a native of Valencia, Venezuela. Listed at 6'3", 265. Here's Matt Dominguez with runners at first and third. '99 misses high, 1 ball and no strikes. Bouncing ball left side in the hole, knocked down, no play. And a run will score to make it 7-2. Barnes comes in to score.
It's the first time that Rondon has been scored upon in his last 5 outings.
Single and an RBI for Dominguez. The last time Rondon had given up a run, it was March 3rd in Atlanta. Or in Lake Buena Vista against Atlanta. Gave up a couple of runs in that game, but really had straightened himself out. Now Marwin Gonzalez looks at a strike. Here's the 0-1.
It's a changeup there.
Yeah.
At 88 miles an hour. It's the first changeup that he's thrown. Same arm speed as the fastball that's gotten up to 100 miles an hour. And that's the key to the changeup, obviously. You really can't slow your arm motion down, or these hitters, they'll pick it up.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. There's one. Relay is in time in the double play. So Rondon gets the ground ball. Gives up a run. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. It's 7-2.
It's not even so much always the people who, get to go to the games. It's again, people who don't really go watch baseball, but just know the team and, just love the fact that we're, in their city and playing good baseball and people are recognizing us. I think, it gives Detroit, makes Detroit look good whenever, especially our team, all the good guys we have and, when everybody's playing well and we're doing great. I mean, it just feels good to, have people who don't really watch baseball appreciate that.
Thoughts on Prince Fielder and the city of Detroit. And, of course, Prince has a background, having grown up or spent part of his youth in the Motor City. 7-2 is our score as we go to the bottom of the ninth.
I like what I saw here out of Rondon. Even though he gave up a couple of hits and he was a little erratic, he didn't panic. He threw the double play ball to get himself out of the inning. And that's what you want to see, and you talked about it. He appears to have the mindset and the maturity to close at this level. There are a lot of young pitchers, especially that have the kind of fastball that Rondon has there, that would have been overthrowing in that situation, especially knowing that he's still auditioning for the closer's role.
So Matt Tuiasosopo will lead things off.
333 with 3 home runs and 8 driven in. And he has played himself into the conversation at possibly making the 25-man roster as that right-handed bat to complement Andy Dirks in left field.
Peacock delivers a strike. 1-1 on Tuiasosopo.
Didn't ask anybody today. I'm wondering if you did. I know Dirks had to leave the game a couple of days ago. I think he banged his knee into that outfield wall. It was a game that we did on Fox Sports Detroit. Did you get any word on him today?
I did not. Nope. Harry got that start today in left field, and here's what happened Tuesday night.
Jack Cuss hit that ball.
And he banged his knee against the wall. But the early returns on that, it's nothing too serious. 2-2 on Tuiasosopo. The .242 last year at Buffalo with 12 home runs. Tigers signed him up in November as a minor league free agent. And the 2-2. 3-2.
Tuiasosopo. I guess I have to start really practicing that name to make sure I've got it down pat. Our first telecast on March 1st, March 4th, I didn't even try it. I practiced all the way up to the 19th.
It took you that long, huh?
I just didn't want to chance it on the 4th.
You can do it. I know you can.
I was thinking of a nickname.
Well, what are you going to come up with? Tuiasosopo's Tui?
I think I got it now. Tuiasosopo. I got it now. Took 2 weeks to get it, though.
So you're telling me you didn't have the guts to try it on March 4th?
I sure didn't. I'm not even lying to you.
Practice makes perfect. Fly ball, right field. And Keel is there for the out.
And then the other day you asked me, could I spell it?
I can't even spell it. One out, Brian Pena will pick up the bat now. He's going to bat for Victor Martinez. Tigers have only 5 hits today. They trail 7-2. Pena, a couple of homers this spring. Former Kansas City Royal. And that's in for a strike.
He was backing up a really good catcher last year in Kansas City, that Perez kid. That young man can play. And now he's backing up a pretty good catcher here in Detroit.
I was listening to an interview with Mike Moustakas yesterday, and he said that evidently Salvi Perez's pop time is like a 2.8.
1.8.
I'm sorry, 1.8,
yeah.
Which is like Rodriguez.
Unheard of.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pena. Take it 1 and 2.
Pop time would be when the catcher gets the ball into his glove and the time that he throws the ball down to second base when there is a would-be base stealer. Anything under 2 is outstanding. He's 1.8.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and he missed outside. 2-2 on Pena.
There's a lot of reasons to like that Kansas City team. You mentioned one guy, Moustakas. You know Hosmer is going to be a lot better this year than he was last year. If they can keep that kid Lorenzo Cain healthy in center field.
Denver missing outside, 3-2.
But it always comes down to pitching.
And they have certainly improved in that area. 3-2 on Pena. Brian Woolley waiting on deck. He'll be next. 3-2 pitch. Fouled away. Tigers will be in Vieira tomorrow to take on the Washington Nationals. Then they have the Yankees the following day, then the Mets, and then our broadcast on Monday against the Marlins. Swing and a miss. Pena chasing. 2 gone.
That broadcast on Monday, we might get a look at Rick Porcello. I believe that will be his scheduled date to start. Porcello pitched in a minor league game yesterday, and they said that he was just tremendous.
Monday at 1 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tigers and Marlins, make your plans to 2 to send. So 2 outs now. Peacock looking for that final out. Chad Wright is the batter. I had Ryan Willie. I beg your pardon. It's Chad Wright. Some minor leaguers coming over from the minor league camp to fill out the roster here tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wright. Make it 1-2. Only 3 pitchers used tonight for the Houston Astros. Harrell started, then Ambriz and Peacock. That's fouled away.
Peacock is just reaching back in just about every single pitch. 92, 93, up in the zone. But some of the Tigers hitters, they have not been able to lay off that elevated fastball and have swung right through quite a few of them.
And again, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Wright is out. So are the Tigers. They go 1-2-3 in the 9th inning. And the Astros come to Lakeland. And on the strength of 4 home runs tonight, beat the Tigers by a score of 7-2. We'll have a whole lot more coming up from Joker Marchant Stadium. There's your final tonight. Astros a winner.